Lesson 6.2, we're going to look at relating fractions, decimals, and percents. So the essential question is, how are fractions, decimals, and percents related? We'll be talking about that throughout the lesson. So on page 341, you look at the solve and discuss it. We have a grid that's shaded with blue, orange, and yellow. And the question is, what part of the grid is shaded blue, what part is shaded orange, and what part of the grid is shaded? So if we look at this with our blue squares, if we look at those first, if we count them up, there are 20 blue squares that are shaded. And if you count, we've got 10 squares going across, 10 going up and down. So 10 times 10, that's 100 squares altogether. So we've got 20 out of 100 blue squares are shaded. The orange, if you count those all up, there ends up being 32 out of 100 orange that are shaded. And what part of the grid is shaded? Well, you know, we have some that are shaded yellow here as well. So just shaded at all, we could say they're all shaded. So that would be 100 out of 100. Okay. So we talked about in the last lesson what percents are. Percents are numbers out of 100. So for the blue, that's 20 out of 100, which means 20%. The orange is 32 out of 100, which means 32%. And the shaded part is 100 out of 100, which means 100%. Okay? Now, we can also look at these in terms of decimals. In terms of decimals, what we can do is basically looking at the fraction. For blue, for example, we have 20 out of 100. We could read that fraction as 20 hundredths. So if that fraction is 20 hundredths, our decimal is also going to be 20 hundredths. So you can write just 20 hundredths or 0 and 20 hundredths. Okay, remember after the decimal, your first spot is the tenths place and the second spot is the hundredths place. That 0 at the end, you wouldn't have to put it there, but it doesn't hurt anything either. Okay, for the orange, we have 32 hundredths is our fraction, so our decimal would also be 32 hundredths. Okay, now with the last part, with the shaded part, we have 100 hundredths. So that one, we can't really write 100 hundredths without getting into whole numbers, right? And that one you can maybe even think about. If you have 100 out of 100, you have the whole thing basically. So that would be equivalent to 1. You could put it as 1 and 0 hundredths if you wanted to. Again, you wouldn't have to have the zeros after the decimal though. Look at example 1. Talks about expressing percents and decimals as parts of a whole. So on example 1, the portion of the time Teddy spends doing homework for each subject is shown in the bar diagram. How can you write the amount of time Teddy spends on reading or science as a fraction, decimal, and percents? So for the homework, you can see percent, he did 30% reading. Okay, they wrote that as a percent, 30% for the reading. The math, they wrote that as a fraction, as 3/5. And the science, they wrote as a decimal, 10 hundredths. So 3 different formats, and we're going to see how these relate to each other. So the 30% for the reading, we know 30% means 30 hundredths. And we could reduce that as a fraction would be 3/10. Also, going back to the 30 hundredths, we mentioned on the previous example, 30 hundredths as a fraction means 30 hundredths as a decimal. Or you can drop the 0 off the end, would be 3/10. Same thing. Okay. And you might notice as we go through these, we'll talk more about this later, but you might notice as we go through this how the percent and the decimal relate to each other. Keep an eye on that. Okay, so the next thing we've got is the, if we look at the science, was 10 hundredths. So 10 hundredths as a decimal means 10 hundredths as a fraction. Okay, so that's our fraction, and then if that's our fraction, we know 10 hundredths, a number out of 100 is a percent, so 10 out of 100 means 10%. And then going back to the fraction, 10 hundredths, always reduce if you can for your fractions. 10 hundredths can be reduced by 10, numerator and denominator, down to 1/10. So we have 10 hundredths, reduced fraction is 1/10, and 10%. Those are all equivalent. Okay, and again, you can kind of look here how the decimal and the percent relate to each other. The math, we could do that part as well. Just getting, I guess if we look at that one, the math was 3/5. So 3/5. Probably easiest would be to get it as a percent first. We've got our fraction already. So to get it to a percent, we need to multiply these by 20. Okay, multiplied by 20 would be 60 hundredths, which means 60%. Okay, and then at this point in the middle here, we had 60 hundredths, means our decimal, we could write it as 60 hundredths. Or you can drop the 0 off the end, would be 6/10, would be the same. Okay, so that kind of shows a little bit of how we can convert between fractions, decimals, and percents. Look at example 2. I did not look ahead on this part and see what was coming very well, but this actually is that part we just looked at with the math. So we just did this, changing the 3/5 to a decimal and a percent. The book shows a different way, an alternative way. So just to mention that, another option, finding the decimal. 3/5 means 3 divided by 5. Remember, when you go to divide, we have a numerator and a denominator. So remember, n for numerator goes on the inside when you divide. And you can see they got 6/10, which would be the same as our 60 hundredths or 6/10 that we got just a minute ago. Example 3, we're going to hit reality here a little bit. Teddy's friend Jacob spends 5/8 of his homework time doing math problems. Write 5/8 as a decimal and as a percent. With 5/8, it doesn't come out really well to take 8 times a number to get to 100. Okay, if you had a calculator, you could do 100 divided by 8. You'll get 12.5, and so that could be a pattern. We won't always have calculators, and we want to talk about, you know, what's the case when we can't get it to work out as well, just in general. So 5/8, like the book says on this one, we would probably want to do it this way. 5/8 means 5 divided by 8. You can see they divided that out, and they got 625 thousandths. So 625 thousandths is our decimal. Once we have our decimal, then we can also talk about what percent that would be. Well, 625 thousandths, I would like my denominator to be 100, not 1,000. So how do we get from 1,000 to 100? Is by dividing by 10. Okay, so if we divide both of these by 10, you might say, well, 625 divided by 10, I don't know what that is. When you divide by 10, is just going to move your decimal one spot to the left, is how that works out. Okay, for example, you wouldn't think about it when you do this, but like 70 divided by 10 would be 7. Okay, and you might say, well, yeah, we just dropped off the 0. Well, think about it as you move to decimal over at 7 and 0/10, which is the same as 7. Okay, so that's 62.5 out of 100, which means 62 and 5/10%. So again, that's going to be the case on some of these problems. They're not going to necessarily work out as nice all the time. Okay, we look at the try it. Isabel spends 3/8 of her homework time on reading. What is 3/8 as a decimal and a percent? That's very similar. We have a denominator of 8 here. So 3/8 just means 3 divided by 8. Again, 8 doesn't go real nice to 100, so we can just divide this out. So if we divide this out, 8 does not go into 3. If we ignore our decimal point, bring it up, but if you ignore as far as what we're doing, 8 would go into 30, would go 3 times, is 24. Subtract would be 6. Bring down the 0. 8 goes into 67 times, is 56. Subtract is 4. Since we already have a decimal, I don't want to have a decimal and a fraction. We want to just get decimals here. So we can add another 0 and bring it down. And then 8 goes into 45 times. Generally with these problems, they don't give you guys anything super crazy. So if it goes past like probably 4 or 5 spots, then you probably made a mistake dividing it out. So that would be as a decimal. And then as a percent, so it's 375 thousandths as a decimal. The percent, you might have noticed the pattern with all the problems we've done is that the decimal and the percent are the same, except the decimals in the different position. So 375 thousandths, we could say, just to show you how we could do this otherwise. But 375 thousandths, like we did on the last example in your book, if you divide those both by 10, that would be 37.5 over 100, which means 37.5%. And the next slide here we'll talk about what change happens there when we do this, that you don't have to necessarily go through the process of all of this every single time. One other approach I had a student mention to me here is that this problem we've got 3/8. 8 doesn't go nice into 100, but 4 does. So if you divide both of these by 2, that would be 1.5 or 1.5 over 4. And then you could multiply both of those by 25. So 1.5 times 25, and you'll get 37.5% that way as well. So kind of the pattern here that I was mentioning a minute ago is we can move the decimal 2 places to the right to change it to a percent, or alternatively we can move a decimal 2 places to the left to change it from a percent to a decimal. Okay, so for example, if we have a decimal, let's say we've got 67 hundredths, our percent is going to end up being 67%. Basically, just taking that decimal point and moving it 2 places to the right. The reason that works is you know, we have 67 hundredths is 67 hundredths. Okay, that's kind of our flow, what we would normally do. But you might just notice that shortcut if you want, moving the decimal 2 places to the right. And then the second way here, what I'm talking about is if you have a percent, let's say we have 41.2%, and I want to change that to a decimal. As a decimal, you can move your decimal 2 places to the left, which would be 412 thousandths. And that one you could say, well, it's 41.2 out of 100. And then if you multiply both of those by 10, that would be 412 out of 1,000, which is 412 thousandths. The question might be, you know, how do I remember about moving the decimal to the right or to the left? Well, here's one way to help you remember that. We have a percent and we have a decimal. So looking at those two, which symbol is bigger, the percent or the decimal? The percent, okay? So the percent sign is definitely bigger than our decimal point there. So what that means is that your number, if you ignore the percent sign, our number as a percent, in this case 67, is bigger than 67 hundredths, right? Okay, our number here, 41.2, is bigger than 412 thousandths. So that's just a way to help you remember whether your decimal needs to get moved to the left or to the right.